Yay, we're live, I think. It might be working. I might not be muted. Everybody
Yeah,
shouldn't be
you're good.
muted.
You got it.
Alright, you guys were still muted, but that's my bad. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 12 of Star Wars Points of Light, the darkest timeline Star Wars game. I'm Simon, at Wandering DM. I'll be GMing this fine group of players here. If y'all want to introduce yourselves, and then we'll get the game on the way. I thought one of you would take the lead, but alright, I'll start with
You
Alex.
never take the lead. You always point someone out. Like, just, force of habit. Hi, I'm Alex, and I will be playing Queen Elsa this game. Where apparently I have to hide, conceal. I forgot the name of the actual lyrics of the song. But I play Dak, the nicest mercenary you'll ever meet.
Yep.
And I'm going to go find those lyrics in a second.
Alright, we'll go from right to left. So, Lauren.
Hello, I'm Lauren. I am playing Queen Fiona Aristides, the deposed queen of Naboo.
And Emily.
Hello, I am Emily. I'm playing Captain Zeta Novia, and I'm ready to go and save my sister.
Last
We'll
but
see
not
how that
least.
goes.
Yeah. Last but not least, our Force user, Josh.
Hey, yeah, I'm Yoshkata. I play the happy, innocent boy Jedi who's big on saving people, helping old ladies, and stroking kittens. I've never killed anyone in this game, and I always use my real name. Correct bio.
There were two truths and a lie.
Two truths?
We'll see which is which. So, as usual, we'll recap last episode with a text crawl, and we will be right back. That was the wrong file. Let me just change it to the actual. Whoa, boy. Oh boy. Yeah, no, it's gonna take me just a split second, really. I have to fix something. Oh, that would be awesome. The Mufasa voice, yeah. I am sure. Ah, there we go. It's what happens, guys, when you use the same title for all of your videos. At some point, they get mixed up, and you lose track of where you're supposed to be. Yeah, it's just when I record it, I basically call it the same name all the time. Yeah, I know. It's just it's numbered once it's produced, but the raw footage wasn't. So I took one that. Yeah, I just look. It's okay. Like I'm currently editing the other one, which oddly enough takes me like I don't know, like 30 seconds. Sort of. I said. That works. That works.
Well, actually, my favorite game to play with Star Wars is to just sing the main melody, but with the word Star Wars. Have you ever done this? Like Star Wars, 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 Star Wars.
Oh god. Yeah. Yeah, okay, if you use like the
Imperial March. D. Imperial March. D.
eh. No, because we're singing with words and I don't think the bots are gonna spot that. Right? Right.
People are gonna immediately think that my voice is a professionally.
Alright, let's try this one more time.
Once more with feelings. Over.
Makeover. No.
Well, we haven't had a makeover episode, but that's what happened last game after like a whole slew of tech issues, which I'll probably have to edit out of that once we're done. But this is what happened last game. You guys are now aboard your brand new ship, a Gthrak
Brand
Industries
new.
class turtle-looking ship, which I would like to know the name of.
I don't know yet. Okay, skip over that. I'm still working on it.
All right.
One job.
Everfree Junior.
Well,
Until we find a name, I'll call it Junior.
I gave you guys 2 weeks.
I'm sorry,
I'm just
okay?
saying.
I had to move office. I've been busy.
You can call it FJR for sure.
FJR. Oh,
I'm just gonna call it the space turtle until we find a name.
yeah, or like the ship or whatever. But you got your new space turtle, which you've rearranged the quarters of to fit whatever sleeping arrangement you needed. There's also a bed in one of the cargo bays because this is where Irula is at the moment. And you guys had taken off the Quat drive yards. I was gonna say Kuwait. The Quat drive yards
Nice.
on board of your new ship to a destination. I rewatched the last episode, and while we did talk about, knowing that the droid factory that was launched off in space was nearby, there was no plan, contrary to what we talked about during the day today on the Discord. That was true. There were no plans to go straight to that place or to Dathomir first. So I just want to know if you guys were still going to Dathomir.
I think that was the plan.
I believe so. And
Yesterday?
I think the reason why we wanted to go get a droid factory of sorts. was-
Your voice is going down lower and lower. The volume
Yeah.
is.
Huh.
Check Zoom hasn't automatically adjusted your audio
Alright, I'll look.
because it does that sometimes. You can untick it.
Wait, there's a auto adjust volume.
Yes,
Mhm.
I found it, and
Yeah,
it
you
should
can
be
take-
better now.
You still low. You might need to manually like bump it back up.
But it's maximum.
Are you sure that you're using the microphone from your headset?
Yep.
Oh, see, now you're coming across much clearer.
I bumped it for just one click. Oh, whatever. I am back.
Yes, you are. So, you were saying.
As I was saying, I believe we wanted to go get a droid factory of sort because we were out of cash. But we've managed to get a better ship for cheaper.
A trade for a trade.
Yes, with absolutely no intimidation of any sorts.
Yes.
Nope. I'm
No
innocent.
bribe, no intimidation, no nothing.
Super innocent.
You guys also had a name written just to make sure. You bribed the person to make sure that the ship buyer's name was completely anonymous.
We did do that.
So you've got about a day and a half of hyperspace travel before you get to Dathomir. Is there anything you want to do in the meantime?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Which one?
Who, what,
You.
where,
You
when?
go.
Dak, go.
Damn it. I want to inspect every inch of the interior of the system. I can't exactly go outside. Or any kind of those stupid spider droids.
The trackers?
Yeah. Those damn things.
Sure, give me a
Can I assist him?
yeah, so you guys can, well, one of you can roll perception with advantage.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a fat 0 in that.
I got a +4.
Hey, there you go. I'm helping you.
Actually, I got +5. Plus, I get advantage because of my thing.
Yeah, but
Wait,
echolocation wouldn't let you, in this case, wouldn't give you advantage if the robot's not moving, because it's
That
not
is true.
emitting anything.
19.
But 19 is well enough. Guess what, you guys? There's a tracker.
I mean, come on, we just got the damn thing.
It's the way you look at it, it probably, a tracker was probably put on every ship that was sold in that place. It's not
Okay.
one of those spider robots that try to defend themselves if you try to kick them or whatever. It's just a simple, like, tag tracker. So it's like a disc about this big, roughly like this thick, with various lights shining on them. And it's probably emitting a signal through space. To
Through
tell everybody-
hyperspace?
Well, no, but once you get out of hyperspace, it's going to transmit your new coordinates.
Well, we better freaking destroy that thing before we get out of hyperspace.
Yeah.
You
But
need
before
Yep.
I decide to just wreck stuff, I'm gonna go see the captain. Be like, hey, boss. Guess what I found?
You?
Is it a
I did find
spider?
her.
If it's a spider, go fix the spider problem, please.
It's not a spider. It seems like it's a standard issue tracker. Does it have any tag that it would be like a big freaking logo of the Empire on it?
No,
But-
no.
Kind of makes sense that they would put one on there. It is one of the like fancy places that sells chips and stuff anyway. So if possible, deactivate it, don't destroy it.
That's gonna be harder.
You would need use computer.
Harder, but
I got
if it's possible, if you mess up, then just chuck it out the space duct or flush it down the toilet, do something.
If you need somebody with a little more computer,
I was gonna say, I look towards Dak. Isn't Fiona good with computers?
Yeah, I'm good with mechanical stuff. Computer exactly ain't my forte.
I mean, I can give
Well,
it a
that's not true.
shot.
no, like I can do like if we're gonna deactivate it.
Deactivating
Well, I
it
mean,
would
I
be a
have
use
I
computer.
have a skill in mechanics, so I can give it a shot.
But it wouldn't be mechanics in this case.
It'd be computer.
It would be use computer.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
I'll do
You know
it.
what? I assist. Because I just realized that I have some use computer after all.
All right, give me use computer check with advantage.
Right.
It takes about 10 minutes per check. The first one,
I do it.
sure.
The
So
first one, I do it.
yeah, you connect to the tracker. and via the interface on your data pad, you just start going in there. And easily after 10 minutes, you make yourself, you log yourself in as like the administrator, creator of whatever system was installed on there, and you have access to everything. And
Ooh.
with your check, you realize this. You could make the tracker emit a false position.
Where is it going? Where is the track?
So the tracker goes to the nearest Imperial checkpoint.
Oh yeah, that's bad. Let's.
So basically, you could, like, let's say there was no checkpoint in your sector, like in your immediate vicinity. Then I mean, maybe the closest one would be a day away through hyperspace. Like in
Okay.
this case, closing in on Dathomir, the closest one is still at the close to the Quad Drive yards. So it would still take a day for a ship to try to catch up to you, unless they have a better hyperspace engine or whatever. Hyperspace drive.
Okay.
But you could decide to instead ping, like, I don't know, a checkpoint in Tatooine, and like your ship would always be in that region. It would throw people off.
It would throw people off.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
And with her amazing skills, would she be able to, at will, just change the position?
You would need a new skill every time, like a new skill roll every time you want to do that. If only because, yes, you have the rights, like you have admin rights on this whole thing, but you could, input, make a typo or whatever, input a wrong variable, and screw everything up.
Does
Which
it
would then be
reset at
problematic.
any point?
It
Meaning
doesn't-
after like 12 hours, there's gonna be a new check-in that's gonna pop in to check the position.
It actually checks in and out. It checks in whenever you come out of hyperspace, and then once every day or so. Like I could say like once every 20 hours, but we're out in space, so it's like 20 standard galactic hours. It varies from place to place.
Okay.
But basically, yeah. So you could, with a DC 10 use computer, make it ping somewhere else.
Okay. Let's do that. Where is a place we never want to go?
I think to make things believable, we should find something that's in the same hyperspace lane than we currently are in, or on.
Yeah.
Make it be
Well, we
one
could-
of the larger planets, so that way it's harder to find us. So that way they'd have to search the entirety of that planet.
That makes a lot of sense. Yes.
So like Nar Shaddaa or something along that line.
Well, the only thing is that like it'd have to be a place that we like no don't want to go ever in life. Like no, I do want to go to Kashyyyk because I want to hug a Wookiee.
Oh,
So
Not
of the
Nar
things-
Shaddaa, not Tatooine, not Naboo, not that one.
there's like a lot of places where you won't have, or not that you won't have a choice but to go there, but like the way hyperspace lanes work,
Yeah.
they go through major worlds, whether you like it or not. You're gonna fly over them through
Well,
hyperspace.
well,
but-
yeah. Just
Oh.
like if we go to Nar Shaddaa and then we like land and hang out in Nar Shaddaa for a bit.
You
like-
could change the ping to somewhere else before you go to Nar Shaddaa.
What about this place? Iago.
Iago, the planet that's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I am going to need 2 seconds.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
I think I might have a name for the ship finally.
Nice.
I'm thinking of calling it the Skyhold.
Ooh. Very
Very very
Dungeons
World of
and
Warcraft, Dragon Age.
it's very Dragon Age. Yes.
Wait, what name? Sorry?
The SS Skyhold.
Oh my god, now I want to raid Star Wars Dragon Age fanfiction.
Do it.
how would that work, though?
Because it fits.
It totally would.
Because I say it does.
No, it could. It could. Mages are just Jedis. You could have you could have Butt Chin be like old school Jedi and like wanna like I'm everything by the book, and then
Yeah, but then again, you know, the Jedi dreams won't try to
Togruta
rip
is
reality
only
apart.
real.
Sure. I mean, it's not an abandoned world. It's not.
I don't know.
really
I
a
just
world.
picked a random place.
No, but that's okay. Basically, it's a world that was of some import to the Confederacy of Independent Systems a few years ago.
Okay.
So it's a place where, like, looks like a jungle world, basically.
Okay.
A temperate and tropical world. But
Nice.
there's no real value to the place.
Okay.
So, like, yeah, it's so much out of the way that you could well enough
Actually,
to-
that might cause if there's a place constantly being the middle of nowhere, that might cause.
And this be in a major trade hub.
Yeah. Let's do Corellia. I don't think we have a reason to go back to Corellia.
Sure.
Sure.
Nope, but it would make sense for us to go back there.
Yeah.
So
We
yeah,
just came from Corellian space, so.
yep, let's do that. Make it so.
All right, let me just note it down. Corellia. Cool.
And there's like lots of places in and around there, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the core worlds, right? So
Yeah.
you have like a lot of places around there where you could go, and the Imperial checkpoints around Corellia. Like, I mean, there are just so many around there because there's Corellia, there's Juro, you have like a bunch of smaller planets just around there. The whole place would be like a bureaucratic mess to try to know like who has priority in
Yeah.
going after your ship.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do that.
So you guys are now technically on Corellia for the rest of your lives.
Hooray!
Until we change.
That took, I'm sorry, yes, said 10 minutes, but the second check takes about an hour. So like it
Okay.
takes a part of your day to just go in and make the adjustment and find the proper coordinates and everything.
We had to
Okay.
coax the machine after all.
Yeah, you sort of have to coax the god machine, the spirit of the machine.
Yeah.
By the Omnissiah, we did it.
You have to like convince it.
But the convincing is done. Is there anything else you guys wanted to do while you were on board?
Yes.
So that how long did that whole finding the thing, reprogramming the thing took?
5 hours? Half a day.
Okay. Aside from doing ship
That was just like 3 hours.
functions such as I don't know, cooking and stuff.
That would take up the rest of your day.
Okay. Well, it's just I'm gonna be prepping a meal for everybody.
How long do we have again?
A day,
a day.
Okay.
roughly.
Did Zeta ever call her parents?
No, not yet.
We
Nope.
should probably do that. That seems like that might be something important. And then, like, after I'm done doing that, I'm gonna attempt to try to start teaching Danny how to, like, do basic piloting.
All right, and Fiona,
I'm
you
not
wanna-
gonna let him actually control the ship, but basic piloting.
Okay, he's gonna play Flight Simulator.
Like
Yeah.
co-piloting or something.
All right, and Fiona, you wanted to do something?
Yeah, I want to talk to Yorsh.
Ah. Yes.
Those names you gave me. I was just wondering who they are.
They people who meant a lot to me, who are no longer alive, I guess.
You don't know?
I saw everyone get cut down by Gurus, but having this conversation, Nikiki, it seems as though she's alive, the way that he described her.
Maybe your other friends are too.
I don't want to think about that in that way, because that would change so many things. It would mean that I would have spent all this time doing nothing when I could have been helping them. It makes this situation worse for me, for them. They were all... I was the last one to join. When Nikika took me in to train me, they were already established with her. But they treated me like family. More than that, some of them.
I can help my friends, and I'm not, because I'm afraid.
Of what?
Of the Empire. When when I became queen, they isolated me, and I thought my friends were just mad at me and didn't want to talk to me. But it turns out they're all in Omadoon. And this whole time we've been out here, I haven't considered once, or haven't really thought once about going back to get them. And I thought it was because I couldn't do it, because I wasn't strong enough, but you would help me. Zeta would help me. Dak would help me. I don't know, maybe I don't want to face them. Maybe I'm a coward.
You're not a coward. This is just new to you. The unknown. It's understandable.
As soon as I found out they wanted to hurt me, they wanted to control me, I just wanted to run away. As far away as I possibly could, but what's the point of running away if you're all alone? And the people you care about are suffering a fate that you should have suffered.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately. And he kind of smiles. He kind of looks down. There was this human girl back when we were training. You were close. You remind me of her in some ways. Zia said it reminds me of her in other ways. She used to say to me that The bugs that live under a rock are always felt a heavy blow. The world is always pushing down against them. But it's their strength that stops them from being crushed by it. If you haven't caved in yet, then you won't. And kind of like puts a hand on your shoulder. And it moves off and just says, I would help you. Goes to walk away. And then he rips his shirt off.
That's more on point.
Starts gyrating in the corner.
That just killed the whole mood. So,
As I'm like, just peeling off potatoes, I get like my sense just triggers. I'm like, I must speak out.
It's time.
Zeta's writing fan fiction in her head.
My people need me.
Danger Zone starts playing somewhere in the background.
We have enough room for one volleyball court.
yeah, you guys are gonna have to go to a desert planet to pick up sand. So,
Well, that's the prime spot against Sith Lords.
It's true.
It gets everywhere.
It is Darth Vader's one weakness.
mm-hmm.
Look at her. He's like, we're gonna go there. We're gonna be doomed.
So, you guys want to do anything else during the rest of your day? I know Alex and Yorsh, you basically took half a day to
Scour the ship.
scour the ship. Zeta, you took most of your day to begin teaching Danny how to pilot. He's not good.
I mean, I figured he wasn't the one that was actually driving, so.
Yeah, he understands the basics of piloting, but he doesn't really have. He has good reflexes, but he doesn't have like all of the math that you need to be able to plot a proper course to make sure that everything functions properly. So he'd be good at piloting like a speeder. That's something he can do. But
maybe it
an
might be
actual
smarter
ship-
to teach him to learn how to shoot the guns than to actually
that-
be a pilot.
He already knows how.
Oh, there you go. Practice.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
I'll keep teaching him.
sure.
When Zeta goes to call her parents finally, when she does get that moment,
Yep.
she does it in a way where they don't know that it's her. Like, she uses her fake name. She says that she has found the location of the possibility of finding their youngest daughter, and if her mission is successful in rescuing her, she will send her to a safe location, and when she is done, she destroys her long range recorder.
The same one you used to call Fen?
No, we use the old ships.
Yeah, that's true. That's the one from the
So
Everfree.
she crushes her personal one.
All right. Did
Because
you
she
ever
doesn't
call
want-
your parents that way before?
That is the first time that she has contacted her parents when she was 12.
Okay. You're going to need to roll just a straight d20 in that case.
I figured that was gonna happen. And roll a d20. I rolled bad.
All right. You sent your message. You know the message is sent. You destroyed your communicator. You don't know if the message was well received.
That's fair.
But you know it
Say-
was sent.
I didn't have to roll for deception, do I? Because she was trying to pretend to be somebody different.
No,
Well,
from
I'm-
what you just said to me, like, I understand the deception behind it, but the thing is like, if anybody were to catch that message, like, there's not enough information to go about to try to think that you might be hiding like a secret message or something.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, look, I'm this person. I might have found your youngest. If I do, I'll send her somewhere safe, and I'll contact you later.
Yeah.
Like, it's the type of thing, the type of well, in Star Wars anyway, the type of communication you could receive. I mean, in our world, it would be a bit weird if a trucker was to call home and tell me, like, oh yeah, I'm going to save your youngest daughter. I'd be like, what? But we're in Star Wars, so
That's true.
everything's a bit more medieval. But yeah, it could happen. You guys go to rest that night. I just want to remind you, you regain all of your hit points and all that stuff. Oh, sure. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's right. After we had the meal and whatnot, it's coming to the night time. I would, and everyone's like, asleep. I would go over to Dak, and I would try and wake you up so we could do some more force training.
Better get me some coffee first. Then I roll over.
It's already in my hand.
You sleek bastard. It's not a double-double, though.
No,
You
it's
haven't-
from the ship's
You
coffee
haven't earned
machine.
a double.
Thank you.
Wow,
Wait.
you're fancy.
Grim?
Hmm?
It takes
Yeah.
like 20 minutes for him to get up.
Dak's trying to roll up the rim. Damn
Hey,
it!
we never know.
Oh, sweet! I want a donut. Where's my donut?
Where's my donut?
Alright, I follow you, coffee in hand. Where are we going?
We go down to the cargo.
Which one? So, for all intents and purposes, I'll say that Irula is in number 12, the leftmost cargo bay.
I go to 14.
All right.
Okay.
For half a second, I
I
forgot
thought
like the.
I thought
citation.
Irula was in 21. We converted the storage closet to a bedroom.
Oh, all right then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that
look-
makes more sense.
It looks big enough for a person.
That's
Yeah,
Mm.
they'll fit a bed in there.
I'll note it down.
I remember that.
Okay.
I sit you down and I say you did good. Last time, the weights moved, but now
We need to practice.
Yes. And
Okay.
I get you, like, I start like getting you to throw the ball up and down, and I try and get you to slow the ball down before it hits your hand.
Okay, I
It's like resistance training.
take a sip and I say, whatever you do, don't tell Fiona. Put my cup down.
Why wouldn't I tell Fiona?
Don't worry, just don't tell her.
Okay, I can probably guess why.
She told me not to. And I said I would think about it, but I still don't know if it's a good thing or not, but I think at least being able to lift a small object is not going to turn me into that spiky thing that I shot a beautiful rocket at.
No, and if you learn to control these, maybe you can learn to push the rocket away like he was trying to do.
If I can hit better, sure.
For the
Oh.
record, Fiona said learn to control it, but don't do any more. So
Oh, my apologies then.
it's alright.
But still,
This is how you stab someone.
Jesus. Just
It's
don't.
how you strangle people.
So, make a use the force check, Alex.
Is he getting kind of advantage from helping him with this?
No, since it's training, like, I want him to use the role as like to show his progress as he's training. So remember last time when you were trying to lift the weights, it lifted a bit. Right now you said the exercise was to control like a
A
ball.
ball. Yeah.
Like stop it from falling down.
Yeah. So you've done it a couple times where you've held it aloft or like thrown it like softly up in the air and try to have Dax slow it down. And a couple of times, like maybe like 2 out of 3 times, he did manage to slow it down that it fell on the ground without bouncing back. But other times he would just like he would make the ball swerve and just bounce elsewhere. He has a certain degree of control, but not enough finesse. But he's getting there. Like it's already better than what it was 2 days ago.
I just kind of say to you, you're learning quick. It's good.
Good. I mean, I can learn to control it and then totally not cheat at cards or anything else.
You remind me a lot of me when I was learning. I picked up quick too.
Good then. You'll know where to guide me from here.
What do you know about the Force, Dak?
Aside from the stories that were told to me, and I mean, it hasn't been that long that it's like this super myth that we had in episode 4, correct?
No, it's well. You have to think that what you had in episode 4 was basically, you know, the Force seen through the eyes of like people in a backwater remote planet that were so far away from everything. It's like, I'll give you an example. If you go in our world on the Mongolian plains, right, in Mongolia, chances are that these people have never seen an iPhone in their lives. They might know that there are people that use phones. They might remember if seen a phone before in their lives, though it doesn't match what you would be holding in your hands. It's sort of like the same with the Force. It's like, oh yeah, it's like this cult that existed. I remember it. I remember maybe hearing stories from like old people at Tim Hortons, or Dunkin' Donuts for those of you who live in the States, or the pub for those of you living in England. I don't know if you guys have like a major
Coffee place?
coffee
Yeah,
place.
Starbucks.
Yeah, okay, screw Starbucks. But you guys, you won't find old people at Starbucks anyway. It's just a bunch of hipsters going like, oh yeah, I knew of the Force before it even happened.
Predated the midichlorians.
I was
Nice.
a Jedi before the midichlorians. Okay. No, but it's basically, so you might have heard like things of like, oh yeah, there were these old monks that could apparently like do tricks. But that's about it. Like, unless you were from Coruscant, unless you were from one of the planets that got hit during the Clone Wars, and where people actually saw a Jedi like turn on a lightsaber and fight, for most of you, the Force is just like this whole sort of like old-timey religion that died. Sort of like if we were to talk about, I don't know, a religion that died recently, or a cult that died. Well, like the Jonestown suicide cult type thing. I don't remember the name of that religion.
Yeah, no.
That sort of
yeah.
happened like 30 years ago. Do you remember what it was about? Do you remember
No.
what the tenets of the faith were? No. Same goes for like Jedi compared to you right now.
Okay.
Like, unless you have like, you know, proficiency in a skill like history or galactic lore or whatever, you wanted to make a roll, then that would be different.
I got nothing. I could try to see if I can remember anything, but as far as I can tell, I knew of what the Jedis were. There were these peacekeepers. They had swords, which in the time of blasters is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But the Force itself, I mean, I've seen what you did. I've seen what I can do. I suppose it's something that allows us to affect things. We can push, pull, throw.
My teacher used to tell me that the Force is this presence that we borrow and we can manipulate. We are abstract from it, but we can feel it. Through the years of me being alone, doing my own teachings of myself, understanding myself, I understand her teachings and what she meant, but in truth, I feel like that is all. It's all hot crap. The Force is that box, the air we breathe, the acceleration in our veins. When you're with a partner, when you're fighting, when you're in your desperate moments, it's the particles in the air. It's everything.
So we
never
can,
have- Go on.
so we can like grab something through the force because it exists through the force.
Is a part of it.
Okay. It's not just surrounded by it, like air would be surrounding an object. It's like it's also going through it.
Yes, everything is a part of the Force. It's not just a single thing, I feel. If it was me just using the Force to grab something, then I would have to attach myself to the Force. But in essence, I just grab the box and the box just comes to me. There is no in between in that sense.
Okay. That'll take time for me to adjust to that train of thought.
Just remember that whenever you're breathing, fighting, running with a partner, you're still connected with the Force and you're still training with it. It never leaves you. You just have a heightened ability than most. But even those who don't have the same knack as we do are still connected to it. Don't think of it as this abstract force that's alien to you. See it as always being a part of you from the moment you were born.
Alright. I mean, so far I can keep on practicing with the balls and see if I can keep lifting things. But you really think I could do more?
Yes.
Even though just recently found out I have this force, or that the force exists by itself, I should be able to just keep practicing and someday just pull ship off of the air.
It's like a muscle. If you train, and strengthen it, then yes. You saw what I did to that ship that Goris was in.
Yes, I clearly saw.
I was only with them for a few years. My teacher. I wasn't there when I was a child, and I was 12, I believe. I was only there for a few years. All my other training came from me.
Is there something that makes people go toward the... Not toward, but... Because I'm pretty sure the concept of the dark side, it doesn't really matter to me at the moment. Let me just rephrase that then. So what's the difference between you, who controls the Force, and Darth Spikey, that controls the Force too?
My teacher, Nakiki, would say that he gave in to his desires, his anger, his need for power, that led him astray. But he just uses the Force in another way. Yes, when we get angry, even people who don't have the Force can lose control of themselves. Like anyone. But it's all the same, I feel. How could we my teacher used to say that we could only have relationships to a certain degree. That family was a weakness, love was a weakness. We had to be centered within ourselves. These were temptations that could lead us to a dark path.
So basically, be absolutely 100% unquestionably selfless.
It's no such thing. Not in my opinion.
Sometimes
no-
self-preservation just kicks in, and you're not gonna be selfless all the time.
And even if you say that you are the most detached but loving Jedi, if you have students and they're in danger, you won't just sever those ties. You'll do anything to protect them.
Right. Which is still, love and not companionship, but that's still a relationship, which you shouldn't have on one hand, I suppose, because of not being centered.
I don't believe in these thoughts of the right path of light and the dark path. It's just how you use the power that is given to you. That's what I wanted to say. You'll get
Okay.
stronger. Don't let it frighten you. You're always in control. Even if you get angry and you sometimes lose control, that is natural.
I'll keep practicing, but yeah, I think controlling it, and that's pretty much what I need to do right now.
And keep practicing you do overnight. For a
I mean-
while.
I got coffee in my veins, man. I'm wired.
Yours, do you stay awake to watch over him, or do you go back
Yeah.
to sleep?
No, I watch over him.
All right. So you guys are both awake when the warning lights come on board the ship. There is this siren going on that, you know what, I don't have the sound pad with me ready, so let's just assume that it goes "Meow, meow, meow," and it blares awake the other members of the crew.
Okay, does the computer give us a indication of what's going on?
You rush to the cockpit and you look at what's going on.
Yes.
You,
Wait, out of hyperspace?
you were actually kicked out of hyperspace.
By a moon-like object.
By a moonlight object.
Oh shit.
You remember, Dak and Zeta. The same thing happened to you over when you approached the
Simon,
planet
I was
Naboo.
joking.
Huh?
I was joking.
I'm not.
Oh god.
Why
Captain.
would I be joking? You remember what happened when you were bringing the painter over to Naboo, right?
Yes. It's Naboo all over again. Let's turn around now.
It's
Yeah,
not Naboo all
done.
over. Just because there was no asteroid field or anything. But the ship is barreling towards Dathomir.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna fix that and make us not right down into it. Maybe slow down a little.
okay. So we came out of hyperspace, but close enough to Dathomir that it still looks like it's fine.
Yeah, Dathomir hasn't exploded or anything.
What I mean is, it's not like we came out of hyperspace and suddenly, bam, the moon-shaped object is right there where the core
There's
is.
nothing. Just like
But
when
it
you
just
guys
feels
were
the
kicked out
same
over
way.
Naboo. It's the same thing that happened. You were in hyperspace, and then the computer says, "Oh, you're about to hit a small moon," kicking you out of hyperspace.
Boss, you need to check your calculation for light speed. This is like the second time in. Yeah, it's been calculating a long time, but it still is the second time that we came out of hyperspace a little too early.
That's not my fault.
You blaming the computer?
Yes, and I just flip them off and I go and I fix it.
in order to fix it, you can choose between mechanics or use computer. But right now, any check that you try to do with the ship itself will be at -2. Because the systems are just... They did not come out of hyperspace properly. Everything's confused.
I can't just use a piloting check and just do that?
Oh, if you wanted to go, like, manual override and try to put the ship back on course, yeah, you could try it with a -2.
Okay.
Can I help?
Not really. There was only one person holding the...
Nope. 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 I
Wait.
can't fix it.
You have to
I
add your
can't
pilot
fix it.
check. You didn't add your pilot bonuses to it.
Okay, but I still rolled a 1.
Yeah, I know, but it's a skill check, so 1 isn't necessarily...
There.
Critical miss.
Fumble.
Is that better?
Yeah, with a -2, that would be like a
I
12.
did. It was a 3.
Oh, okay, a 3 instead of a 5. All right. Yeah, no. So you get a hold of the ship and you put it back on course. You're gonna have to stay at the helm for the whole time
That's
until
fine.
you reach Dathomir. There is no more autopilot.
How long is that?
It's about 4 hours. Like, you see the planet, the red small planet, through your space shield, and it's slowly growing as you're getting closer and closer. It's gonna
Anyway-
take a while. There doesn't seem to be any traffic around. Like, there's no orbital station. There's no ships coming and going.
Can I attempt to try to find what spaceport I need to go to? Because I've never been to this planet before.
Nope, and the only indications that you had were that Fen had left your sister with a lady called Sister Katiana,
Mm-hmm.
who had some sort of temple for like a pseudo-religious order or something over there that they took people in. But that's all you know.
Let's see if is it possible for me to like scan the planet to look for temples?
With a -2 until the ship is repaired, yep.
Repaired?
To get, like, reboot all the systems one by one, make sure that everything's back on track, and...
Well, I know what I'm doing.
No, go ahead and
No,
go fix stuff. I don't know what is going on. with
Danny,
my
come on.
Can I
Easy-
like look out the
easy there.
windows and see if I see anything?
You know what? I was gonna try to see if we could find something out of radar, unless it's
The
there.
radar doesn't show anything.
What
I
kind
wanna
of
use knives.
check do I need to do for this roll? Is it just like a flat 20
Okay, so
for
wait.
this game?
Yorshkita can make a perception check. Zeta, you can't make any rolls unless you want to stop piloting.
Okay.
You could want to stop piloting, put somebody else in the pilot seat, and try to make your roll your mechanics check and everything.
Nobody else knows how to
Ooh,
pilot,
21.
so
Danny, no.
Then he's waking up. The alarm doesn't seem to have woken him up. With the 21, Josh, you notice absolutely nothing in the surrounding space. You're the only ship around for kilometers. Parsecs, whatever.
Is that normal around Dathomir? Isn't it like not a core, but not a freaking backwater planet?
Dathomir is sort of a backwater planet. Dathomir doesn't have a moon, but you guys don't know much more about the planet. There are other planets like nearby in the same solar system, but that's it. It's eerily quiet.
Do I see any like satellites or relays or anything like that flying around?
No, not even. I mean, we're in a sci-fi setting, right? Every planet has like satellites, like thousands of satellites surrounding in orbit around the planet and everything. This one has nothing.
I want to go over to Zeta. This is wrong. There's nothing out there.
I
mean,
know. I know.
All right. Well, while I go reboot everything manually, let me start on the cannon first. Danny can sit his butt up there and keep an eye out.
All right, you sit Danny at the cannons. It's just a straight mechanics check with a -2.
Making a check. Ah, there it
I'm
is.
gonna do like a walk around on the ship just to be sure.
All right.
Yeah, I got a fat 7.
I have no idea what Fiona's doing. She's very confused and just kind of like standing. I think she's just like standing in front of the cockpit, like being like, eh.
Fiona, what do you know about this planet?
That's a good question. Should I
Indeed.
roll some galactic lore?
You could roll some galactic lore if you wanted,
Okay.
or any other knowledge that you think would be appropriate.
Let's start with galactic lore, and then if I want to do something else, I will.
All right. Everything.
Know everything about this planet.
So, here's what you know. Dathomir used to be the home of a Zabrak subspecies
Okay.
called the Dathomiran.
Okay.
And they had a sort of religious order called the Night Sisters and the Night Brothers.
Okay.
They were sort of like these hermit force users that lived on the planet. The planet became under attack during the Clone Wars because the Dathomirans sided with the Confederacy during the war with Count Dooku, and they tried to betray him or something. So the Confederate army invaded the planet. There were major battles in there and everything. That's part of like the Star Wars canon. Here's where it differs in my game. Dathomir was leveled. Basically not a like, Death Star type of destruction, but a fleet of Republic ships surrounded the planet, and sensing that there were no other options, they fired at the planet. They tried to evacuate a lot of the civilians from there. There weren't many people living on Dathomir. It was still a remote like colony world, even for the Zabrak. Still, there were millions of dead. Everything was destroyed. Since the Clone Wars, nobody's talked about Dathomir anymore.
Okay. Dathomir is practically a dead planet. It was leveled in the Clone Wars. This is, I mean, I would expect it to look barren. I'm sure if anybody is, if your sister and the sister Katiana is there, it would be not very big.
We're gonna have to go down one way or another, so let's see if we can find a spaceport somewhere and
I don't think there'll be a spaceport.
we can possibly find the ruins of a spaceport.
Maybe
Or at least a flat area for me to land.
just a
Something.
big flat place.
You can always use the ship to scan for life forms on the planet and try to find like something that has like a congregation of life forms where that could potentially be a city or something.
Yeah, I can do that since Zeda's flying.
All right.
So is that
That would be
another-
use computer with a -2 because the ship still hasn't fully recovered from being chucked out of hyperspace.
I'm working on it.
Meanwhile, can Yorshkata and Dak roll a use the force check?
Oh, joy. Use the force. Use the force.
$15.
So, Fiona, the scan reveals that there is some sort of settlement Not really any bigger than Smuggler's Paradise, on the far side of the planet.
Okay.
Well, currently on the far side of the planet. Josh, you feel a presence
On the ship.
on the planet. You remember when you guys approached Salonia, you could feel this sort of...
The whale.
Yeah, there was a whale.
Mm.
Horse whale.
Sorry, you can almost see it through your mind's eye. This, like, there's like a string coming out of Dathomir and just going into the stars and losing itself in the infinite expanse of the universe. But, like, it has to be very, very strong for something like that to be felt at such a distance.
Is going away from Daphne or coming to?
Yeah, so it's like, picture like you have your planet, and it's like held aloft by a string.
Okay, I see. Can I? Is the string like? Do I see the string, or can I? Like, am I like attached to the string? Can I reach out?
You're
to the
not attached to it, but if you were to go back to the cockpit, now that you're getting closer and closer, you can sort of see it. It's weird because your eyes don't see it. Your echolocation doesn't perceive it. But through the Force, you can see like this link. Feeble. From a planetary perspective, it's very weak. But whatever individuals are emitting that like sort of beam of Force energy, like that has to be something potent.
Yeah, I think I run towards the got the cockpit, and I just say, "Wait, this is a Force user, yes?"
She was Force sensitive. For all I know, she's been trained.
I sense something. I can almost see it
There you
there on the horizon. And I say to you, don't land anywhere else. I have a coordinate, like an eyeball to you. We should go there first.
Fiona will say, like, there used to be a religious order of Force user, Force worship. It might be an artifact or something.
Does it feel like a person or like a?
From where, like, I mean, you guys are still like a good 2 hours away from the planet, which is sort of very, very far away.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know until you got closer. Basically, until you break atmosphere, you don't know for sure if it's a person, multiple people, a place, or an object.
Yeah, I just say to you, I'm not sure what it is, but we should go there first. It's like it's drawing me.
We'll see if we can find somewhere that's not super close to settlement, but close enough for us to make a walk there. I wouldn't feel safe leaving it right at their settlement. I mean, we just got the thing. I don't feel like having some like sisters steal it. So
Right.
There's a whole lot of nothing on this planet, so
I can definitely say Fen knows where to take people.
Oh yeah, like, I mean, if this place really is, secure and everything, it's so remote. Like, who the hell would think about looking for someone in there? Like, unless you knew they were there, there's no point in going to that planet. There's nothing anymore. At least from what you gather.
Full speed ahead.
All right.
I stay at the cockpit, just like focusing on it.
Cool. Can you
Let me know the moment you figure out what it is.
Yeah.
Can I keep fixing the ship?
Yeah, you can. I was gonna say, you can make another roll before you guys land, and that will change maybe what I'm gonna ask of you guys.
Mechanic or computer use?
Toujours mechanic. Always mechanic. Wow. My French came out for a second.
Woo!
Yeah.
I think I speak a mix of the two as well. So I'm like, oh yeah, I get what you said.
Yeah. So you fix what was missing. Basically restarting, like, it's a sequence that you have to restart everything in order. You just bumbled it the first time, did it again the second time, and everything's fine. But it does take a while for each system to come back online properly. Once everything's back online, you do notice something on the ship's radar.
Oh, Cap,
It's-
look at that.
It's going away from your ship because it's stationary and you guys are moving towards the planet.
Oh look, did we just lose a escape shuttle?
No, you actually passed
Escape pods,
by 4 very tightly packed moons.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Nothing we could see with the naked eye.
apparently not.
Hey boss, we almost crashed into 4 moons.
I mean, it's becoming a habit that I'd like to break. Give me a rubber band, I'll snap it on my wrist like 30 times to make it stop.
Okay, I'll get right on that. Yeah, for rubber bands.
No, but yours has a stick. You can, like, whack
Oh.
her with it.
Please don't hit me.
Oh, don't hit her. I like her.
He's like the Jedi Pavlov.
Mhm.
Nobody had any problem with him hitting me.
I don't want him to hit anybody. I sure as hell don't want him to hit me. It's gonna hurt.
Says the professional soldier. So, you guys land on a deserted red planet. You notice, you fly by the settlement, like close enough that you can see it with the naked eye. It's about like 3 buildings. A giant pyramid with 4 spires, 1 on each corner. Juts out from the ground. It's made out of the same material that the planet is made of, whatever like red hued stones that make up the ground of this planet. It's not in the middle of nowhere, in the sense that there probably used to be something around there, because you see the wreckage of multiple buildings all around it. Aside from the pyramid, there seems to be another, I'll call it like a coliseum, because it's basically that, like an outdoor circular amphitheater. And then there's another one, a bit, I'm gonna say to the side, but like a bit farther away from the rest of these 2 buildings, which is like a square, like a tower, like an apartment complex of like probably 10 stories high or something. It's nothing major. Like, you guys have been to Nar Shaddaa. Some of you have probably been to places like Coruscant or whatever, where, you know, the space is so limited that everybody builds up. In this case, there's just so much space around that, you know, there's no need for that. But there's also probably not enough living sentience on the planet to warrant having more than that. The apartment complex, by the way, is made out of all the same debris that are found around. So it was basically reconstructed from what they could find around there. And you land the ship in what would have been a local spaceport. A bit like the Mos Eisley spaceport, you know, like these like open hangars type thing where you can just land in the middle of a a compound or something. That's where you land. So it's safe enough to say that the ship isn't gonna hit anything on the way down. But it is going to be like a trek to get to either ones of these buildings. And as the ship lands, you guys get out. I just want to know, before we go on break real quick, you guys want to bring Danny with you or not? Danny or Irula?
I would say Danny stays on the gunner, well, on the
Mhm.
On the
Let them-
guns.
Let them
To-
both stay. Why not?
Sure. Yeah.
Like I tell Irula every like 2 to 3 hours, check the outside of the ship for any like trackers or anything that's on the ship. Make sure if there's anything that's broken, take Danny with you. Teach him how to fix things. Do not let him touch the pilot's seat. He's not trained yet.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna. I'm a much better pilot than he is.
Mm.
And this is how we lose the ship.
Maybe like do like check-ins every so often, like periodically.
Yeah. And we do have long range comms, so we can always communicate with him as well.
How often?
Every
say
every
hour.
2 hours. Every 2 hours should be fine.
Okay.
Call Fiona's. I don't have one anymore.
Sure.
have-
I have Fiana's.
Very
If
few
she-
people do have my number, but he has it.
If she
There you
hasn't
have it.
blocked me yet.
She just refuses to FaceTime.
So, as you guys leave the ship, we're just gonna go take a short break. I'll go get some more cough medicine, and we'll be right back.
Do, 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 do. That's so
Wrong set.
Mm,
I mean, Zeta was one, so.
yeah, well, for like 2 years.
Hello, everyone. It's okay. We went back online just after whatever happened, but Zeta's been something for 2 years.
Yeah.
An amazing captain.
An amazing captain, which actually she's only been a captain for like maybe 8 months at this point.
You're
I
not
think
helping yourself.
I think there shouldn't be any shame anyway.
I've already proven myself
But-
before.
Let's not keep that conversation going because we're back in the game.
Let's go explore.
As you guys are
Right.
trekking through the ruins of Dathomir, are you heading towards the Colosseum?
A quick
Yep.
question, sir. You never told me if I sensed anything as we got closer.
Oh shit! Yes, it's coming from the pyramid.
Okay, you never
From
told
the
me if it was
tip
like
of the pyramid.
on the tip. Okay, you never
Um,
told me if it was like a.
It's something inside the pyramid.
Okay.
So you notice as you're getting closer that this like beam, it's like a pillar of force. And it's, you could theorize that it's probably in the center of that pyramid.
Look towards all of you and say, wherever it is coming from that pyramid, I need to find what it is.
We need to find Sister Katiana first. And then after that, we'll go and investigate it. Or if she's there, that would save us a lot of trouble,
Well,
honestly.
isn't Fyra a force user?
She is force sensitive. I don't know if she's a force user.
So I
So
take
if-
it you make your way to the pyramid.
Yeah, we can start
Yeah.
there.
I'd be okay with that.
I'm gonna go there.
All right. As you approach the pyramid, you find the whoever lives on Dathomir now has sort of tried to remake a few of the streets that were in this what used to be a city here. So there are pathways going from like the apartment complex to the Colosseum to the pyramid, and there are even along the way like these carved busts of people, various
Do I
species.
recognize any of them?
They all have a name. None of them are like galaxy famous people.
Do any of them say Katiana on it?
It's none of them say Kadiana on it, and none of them say Fyra on them either. You could, I think, the closest that you could probably think of, like looking at those things, is like, you know how people sometimes will donate a bench to a park, and they'll have like a plaque in their honor or something. It's sort of like that. So it probably is like either the people that helped rebuild the place, or I don't know, maybe in honor of those that died on Dathomir, and they make like a small monument to them. But none of the names are familiar. None of them are of any importance, really. You don't even need to roll like a skill check, even using like a passive. You're just like, I don't know any of these people. And the busts don't make them look important either. It really is just like from almost, it's almost not even a bust because it's like pretty much from the neck up. Just like a sculpt of their face with like part of their shoulders held on a pedestal. And of course it's built out of the same like red stone that you find all over the place. The closer you get to the pyramid, the more and more these statues are detailed. And the like 6 statues, 3 on each side of the road, that flank the entrance to the pyramid, are of these tall women in long robes, holding a spear.
Doesn't look like they're friendly.
No, they actually look like they're angry and like scowling at whoever is walking on the road.
Oh, that feels good.
Mm-hmm.
The pyramid itself, when you get closer, the entrance has like these 2 long walls, short walls on each side, that lead up to a flight of stairs that leads to like a huge black double, I don't want to say iron, but like it would be like a steel door. And there are a few people walking and talking on the like terrace in front of that door.
Glad
They're
to
of-
see there's people.
Yeah, you didn't see really anybody when you were walking down the road, though you did see a few lights coming on from the apartment complex. But these people, yeah, they're dressed in various attire. Most of them don't seem to be coming from like a wealthy background or anything, but they're not dressed in rags either. Most of them have like utilitarian clothing with maybe like a few patched up places on like their clothing where it got torn or something over time. You notice that they all have, though, a scarf. Everybody wears a scarf, and looking at the debris around, the amount of dust, you can surmise that like dust storms are probably a thing in this area.
Can I look up at them and just say, "Excuse me"?
Oh yeah, there's a few people that were like sitting down on the stairs, and they look up to you and they're like, "How can we help you?"
I'm looking for Sister Katiana. Could you direct me to where she is?
Oh, if it's one of the sisters, they're inside. They're not letting anybody in for now. The person you're talking to looks at like a small data pad they have on their arm, and they're like, the trials are starting soon. They'll let us in at that moment. You just have to wait with all of us. There's not a lot of people today, so.
But this is kind of important. Is there any way that I can get in now? Like, I really.
Oh, you can
need
try
help.
banging on the door if you want, but
What are the trials?
It's probably the pit fighting.
you're not from around here, are you?
No.
No.
What gave it away?
The 2 people come down the stairs, and you notice. Just gonna finish getting that lozenge in. So, one of them's an Ithorian. Tall, brown creature with like a face that's like at a 90-degree angle. And that's not the creature that spoke to you, the person that spoke to you. It's the one next to that, the Ithorian, who's a human, average height, a bit rotund, black hair, piercing blue eyes, with a scar on their right, like upper cheek, and another one along their neck that you see like through. The scarf isn't really tight around them, so it's kind of loose. You can kind of see it.
Are they like a middle-aged person?
Yeah, they look to be, the human anyway, looks to be probably in their like mid 40s. So not necessarily middle age, but they've they've been around. They've seen stuff.
Yeah.
Like their eyes are a bit squintier than usual, and they do have a blaster at their side. And the male human presents himself. His name's Bardic. I live over there, 8th floor, and this is Glila. Do any of you speak Ithorian?
Nope.
So Glila says something in Ithorian. Nobody answers, and so Bardic's gonna do the translation. But he's like, she's happy to meet you. We're pretty much the last, like the newest people here, so it's kind of nice to see that other folks are wanting to come here and try to help the sisters and rebuild and everything. How did you hear about Dathomir?
I'm looking for my sister. I've been told that her last location was here.
Oh, well, might be one of the new sisters. They, I mean, nobody's been here after us, so she was probably here before us. If she's not one of the sisters, she's one of the initiates. The rest of us workers, we all live in the building over there, and, well, we work, like, the pay's kind of good, by the way. Sister Katyana handles everything here. And our home got seized. He just looks to the Ithorian and then looks back to you. He's like, yeah, our home got seized, so we had to move somewhere else, and we heard about Dathomir.
What's the trials? We asked you before.
Oh, yeah, the trials. It's like like ritual combat that the initiates undergo. They do that every month or so, really, and it's like a gladiatorial fight, basically.
Do they fight to the death?
Not that I know of, but the losers aren't allowed to participate any longer. They might come back over time. I don't know. I haven't been there long enough. But you should see. There's one. So we've been here for, what, 4.5 months? Yeah, something like that. We've attended the trials 3 times so far. And, I mean, the Colosseum being what it is, there's plenty enough room to sit wherever you want. So we tend to sit closer to the action, you know? And there's this one initiate for all 3 times that we were here. Undefeated champion.
Is her name Thyra?
Yeah, how'd you know?
Because that's my sister.
Oh, well, yeah, you're...
You see just like Zeta just get a big smile on her face. Just thinking like, I'm so proud.
So she's a fighter, huh?
What do the sisters? What does their order do?
We don't really know. It's like this sort of like meditation, bodybuilding cult or something. It's they're all cloistered up there. They never come out of the pyramid, except for the trials, and none of us workers are allowed in. The only one that we see is Sister Katyana. She's the only one that comes out to talk to people, and she gives us our wages and everything.
What's at the center of the pyramid? Or at the top?
That's a good question. I don't know. But if you were to ask Ebor,
Ebor?
let me spell that out for you.
In row 20, please.
Oh, I did it in Twitch.
God damn it.
That's okay. I'm gonna do it in Roll20.
Too late.
There you go. Ebor. If you were to ask Ebor, he's been inside before. He helped build the place. No, it's Ebor with 2 E's.
I know.
Is he going to be here when this happens?
No, he's back at the complex. He doesn't attend the trials anymore. He was there the first time we were there, though. And I think Fyra defeated one of his favorite fighters. So I think he took it very, very hard. He hasn't, well, I mean, he hasn't come out. He hasn't come to the trials.
When do the trials start?
Normally around noon, but I think they're late today. And he looks up in the sky. The sun's like always hidden by like these huge clouds. And he like looks up his data pad and he's like, yeah, they're... I think my data pad's wrong. But, I think they're late.
Can I go bang on the door to the pyramid?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go do that.
You bang on the door, and it takes a few moments for a screen to appear. Almost at the top of the doors. It's like this bluish, grainy, sort of like hollow screen, and then there's a face that shows up. It's this older Zabrak lady.
Mm-hmm.
And she's wearing what would be like a sort of a very tight cowl on her head. And she says, yes, for those of you who are here to attend the trials, it's only going to be a few more minutes. We've hit a few bumps this morning, but it's going to be fine. Now, how can I help you? Are you here for the trials?
I'm looking for Sister Katiana.
That would be me.
Cool. Can I see my sister Fyra, please?
I'm afraid that this is gonna have to wait until after the trials today. Fyra is rather busy at the moment.
I have been looking for her for 20 years.
And
Let me see her.
I am sure you can wait a bit more.
No, I can't. Please let me in.
You will be let in at the same time as everybody else.
The voice kind of picks up. Is it only females in the
Trials?
what was it?
Order?
Trials, sorry. The trials.
No, just about anybody who's an initiate of ours participates. It's part of the ritual.
You can just see Zeta's just very upset.
Why do you fight?
I just need to go to the Coliseum, right?
Yes, you can, or you can wait and go through the pyramid once we open the doors for the public.
She just walks away, just shaking her head and like gripping onto her arms like very tightly.
It's alright, boss. We'll get in soon. She's not running away.
I know she's not gonna run away. I'm more upset about the fact that Ben sent her here. And if she didn't choose to do this, if she didn't choose this life for herself, she's also buffer than me. This isn't fair. Ah!
She could have chosen to work, and instead she became an initiate.
Mm-hmm.
Who says there's a choice?
The
For all
screen
I know,
flickers.
Ben might have sold her here.
I'm gonna go back to the people that we were talking to
Mhm.
and ask where Ebor is.
His apartment is number 81.
All right, I'm gonna go to his apartment.
All right. As you're leaving for
I don't care if I miss the trials.
Okay. That's what I want to know, because as you're leaving for the apartment and Zeta's leaving for the Coliseum, there's a music that starts playing out of the pyramid. And everybody just crowds up to the door of the pyramid, and it opens, and out comes this very regal, older Zabrak lady, the one that was on the screen. And she's dressed in like this red dress, a bit like the statues that you saw, and she's carrying a staff around, and everybody's trying to look inside the pyramid. It's pitch black. Yorsh, if you want to make a perception check, if you're in the crowd, since you have echolocation, you could try to find out like if there's something inside.
Let's do it. Go, go, go. All the things. Perception. 22.
So,
to get advantage.
You notice that inside, in the dark, there are 4 figures. They're shifting their weight from one foot to the other. And then the doors close. So the figures never even approached the doors. They never even gone into... Like, they didn't walk into the light or anything. They tried to stay hidden. Though
Could I tell from like the weight shifting if they were like heavily armored or lightly armored, things like that?
they weren't heavy.
Okay.
Like, you could feel like if you were to compare it to like a stormtrooper, it's lighter.
Okay.
Uh,
Softer.
Sister Kadiana addresses the crowd and says that she apologizes for the delays in the trials today. I know that it's everybody's day off, and everybody was waiting for today's trial. Unfortunately, one of the initiates got sick this morning and cannot attend. So we are only going to have 4 initiates participating today. And she gives out the names. Fyra is among them. And people cheer like random initiates. Of course, it's not a huge crowd. There's like 20-ish people there. But she brings them along with her so she leads like the procession in almost like ritual silence to the Colosseum. Eventually catching up with Zeta. Fianna, you're going to the apartment complex. Is anybody following Fianna? Everybody's going to the blood sports?
No, I'll follow
You
Fianna.
don't have to.
I'm not gonna leave you alone on this unknown planet.
I can handle myself.
With your Oda blaster? I don't think so.
No, she bought a new one.
I have a pistol.
Ooh.
And I have knives.
And a grappling hook.
And a grappling hook. I can do all sorts of shit.
Alright, but check in every 15 minutes. If there's any problem, call up, I'll run.
Okay. I'll be fine.
Dad, yeah. Fine.
Shut up, otherwise you're gonna have to go back to the ship and change.
So, Fianna's going to the apartment complex, everybody else going to the Colosseum.
Am I walking through the pyramid? You said the pyramid.
The doors open, but they closed after.
Okay.
Nobody went in. So you
Okay.
just like, you cranked your neck to get a peek inside. And I can tell you, like, the hallway behind the door splits into 2. It's like this T intersection. That's all you had time to see, and the people were hidden partly like in the corners of those intersections. Like, they were like trying to, I don't know, like glance outside or something. Sorry.
Is anyone with us? Like the sister or anything?
Sister Kadiana's with you, as is the rest of the crowd. They're like 20-ish people.
Can I like try and talk to her?
Yeah, sure. She's actually very approachable.
I say to her, so I'm new here. It's evident. What's your tradition, your religion about?
Oh. If you want, I can give you the whole spiel after, but we call ourselves the Order of the Remnants. As you can see, if you look around yourself today, the planet isn't what it used to be before. None of the original Dathomirian made it out alive. When the Republic forces decided to scorch the entire planet, they did not take into account the fact that there was a rich history and culture here that was kept in part by its populace, but also by the very buildings, the statues, the monuments the archives that were here. Myself, as well as a few others, we left our homeworld after hearing about the tragic fall of Dathomir, and we decided to establish ourselves as this sort of hermetic order of sorts. We don't want to take part in any politics. That is not to say that we are not loyal imperial citizens, as we all are, but Dathomir being so out of the way and without any resources, we're tend to left to ourselves, which is exactly what we wanted. So now we can dig up the past and try to revive the old culture of Dathomir.
Sounds peaceful.
Sort of.
Tranquil, even.
Now, the trials and the whole breaking of the body that we do to most of the initiates, or to all of them, I should say, is because the Zabrak culture is very violent by default, and the order, the main religion of Dathomir, the Night Sisters and the Night Brothers, were a martial cult, first and foremost. We try to honor that the way we can, with what we remember of their ritual combat procedures. I doubt that any of the survivors would, be proud of what we do here, but we do what we can.
Can I insight check her?
Mm-hmm.
13.
She's being very vague on purpose.
Yeah, I figured that.
It sounds like when she's talking that she's trying to make sure not to let any of her biases known to you, since you're new.
Yeah.
But she's not, she doesn't appear to be lying or anything, or withholding information that would be crucial to understanding their purpose here.
Just choice of words. Okay.
Yeah.
I just say, has anyone ever died in this ritual combat?
Oh, no. Well, we've had one die by accident during combat. It does happen. We're trying to teach our followers restraint. But as the old traditions warranted combat to the death, in our case, what we do is once you've been beaten, you are no longer allowed to take part in the trials. You remain an initiate at whatever rank your victories warranted you. Now, if you were to win 5 trials to become the champion after 5 of these trials, then, well, you'd be inducted as a Night Brother or a Night Sister. We use the same terminology as they used, but we're not we're not the same order. It's just flashy. DM's looking for the word. Flashy nostalgia, basically. And little Fyra is well on her way to becoming a sister. Now, if you look at all the busts, all the sculptures on the street, those are all the initiates that did not win.
I see. What's in the pyramid?
It is our temple, our sanctuary, and our living quarters. We built this temple from the ruined remnants of the original Night Temple here on Dathomir. Give me just a second.
Nice. She sneezes in my face. Yay. Yeah, I just continue walking with her.
All right. So yeah, she was saying how like they rebuilt it from the original stones, from the stones from the original temple. They sometimes have help from off-world. Off-worlders do come. Some of them stay, as the order is not without means, and can offer a certain wage for those who want to take part in the rebuilding of Dathomir. But so far, what she tells you is there, all in all, there's about 300 people here. She doesn't know if there are any other settlements around the planet. She doesn't really care about that. She chose this precise area because it was so far removed from where the capital city used to be, even from the original temple, so that they can be out of the way and do their things in peace and quiet. And she ends by saying, if you're interested in becoming an initiate, we can certainly discuss this after the trials.
Of course.
So she leads all of you to the Colosseum. Many parts of the Colosseum are crumbling or in disrepair, so there is like only really just half of it that is actually usable. The other part is, it holds, so that at least it looks complete, but it's not made for seating or anything. So you guys take seats wherever you want. Just let me know if you want to be like on the front row or if you want to be higher up, far away.
I
from
want to be
everybody
in a
else.
place where I can see the fighters, but the fighters can't identify my face.
So you're like in the top, like you're in the nosebleeds,
Yeah.
basically.
I'm in the front.
Huh?
I'll be in the front area.
All right.
I don't want Fyra to like see my face and then go, "Is that Alexis?" and then lose.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Meanwhile, Fiona, you got to the apartment complex.
Did.
Took the elevator to the 8th floor, and rang at apartment 81. And sure enough, the door opens. There's a very, very old... Shit, what's that race again? 2 seconds. Species, sorry. They're green skin.
That's like half of them.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I don't think I have them here. No, I don't. They have like these like diamond tattoos on their face.
Kalish?
Could be Kalish. They are called the Miralan.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So of course it's a very, very old Miralan that opened the door remotely. They're sitting in what would be the equivalent of a wheelchair. They don't have any hair anymore. Their face is riddled with ooh, I just lost the word. You know, old people have like
Wrinkles.
Thank you. Jesus, how could I forget that? Yeah, they're riddled with wrinkles, and their tattoos are mostly faded over the years. And they you can see next to them there's like what would be like a stand with an IV bag in our world. And from the other end of the, it's a tiny like maybe 2.5 rooms apartment. like a small 2.5. There's a living area with like a small kitchenette, and then a short corridor in the back that leads to 2 doors. You assume probably one of them is like the bedroom, and the other one should be the bathroom. And that person was sitting, staring at the window, looking towards the Colosseum. And as the door opens, he says, "I told you I'm not going. Stop pestering me about it."
I'm not who you think I am.
He turns around, slowly looks at you, says, "If you're here to rob me, lady, know that this..." And he taps his hover chair. He's like, "This hover chair is armed."
If I were here to rob you, I wouldn't have knocked nicely on the door. I have some questions about this place, and I'm not interested in blood sport.
Do you often just knock on the doors of perfect strangers to ask them questions?
No, Bardic told me. Been here for a long time.
Insufferable. Yes, he's my next door neighbor.
I'm sorry to bother you if you'd rather I leave.
He looks back at the Colosseum, and even from where you are, you can see like this tiny like mob of people walking to the Colosseum. He's like, "Oh, the trials are about to start. Well, I was going to make myself some tea. Do you want any?"
If it's no trouble.
Nah, it's not. And he just like presses a few buttons on his hover chair, and you notice the oven lights up. There was already a kettle on there, or like a space kettle or whatever. And he basically makes, like, his entire apartment seems to be like all fully automatized. So everything's just being done remotely, controlled through the hover chair. Takes a few seconds for your space tea to be ready, and you can sit down on like his couch if you want. There's a small like coffee table there. And he's like, "Well, if you're here to entertain an old man, what is it you want?"
I wanted to know about this place, about they said you helped build the pyramid.
That was a few years ago, yeah. When I still had all my legs. Yes. I was part of the original crew that built. I came here along with Sister Katiana. It was a nice project. Took a few months to build. The worst part was trying to bring the broken pieces of the original temple back here. Honestly, we could have just done everything from scratch. It would have been better and faster.
Why did you come here with her?
The money was good. To be fair, I really didn't have much going on for me back home. It was just a business opportunity. I didn't think I'd be stuck here forever. Sister Katiana was nice enough to have the whole place around retrofitted for my new needs. But
What do you mean you didn't think you'd be stuck here? Why did you stay?
he taps the hover chair.
Oh.
I lost my legs when a stone fell on me. Which I should count myself lucky. 3 of the other workers weren't so much. They've been immortalized along the road. Many motions through the window, like at one of the roads that you walked through when you came up.
Is that what these statues are? People who died in the rebuilding efforts?
Oh, not just the rebuilding. People who died, period. They put all the workers along the worker route and the initiates closer to the pyramid.
What happens to the initiates? They said, Bardic said that you stopped attending after your favorite initiate
Yeah.
lost.
Vespa, she was called. Yeah. And you remember, like, as a flashback, one of the bus that you walked past had the name Vespa on it.
And did she die in the fight?
No. But if they make busts of us workers who died, you can just add one and one together. That's why I'm not attending anymore. That's why I wish I could leave this place now. This is just a facade, apparently. A lie, a big old lie. If the initiates do die, then I don't want to have anything to do with this place. I don't want to have anything to do with the construction of this place. I wish I could leave, but it's not like there are any ships that come around
We have a
often.
ship.
Well, if you would be so kind, I have a few credits I could pay you.
Where would you like to go?
I would pretty much like to go back home, actually.
And
Dantooine, that is.
Well, I'm not the captain, but I know that we're trying that our captain would accept anybody looking for a way out of a bad situation.
How nice of you. The only other ship that does come around is this Star Destroyer.
A Star Destroyer.
Yes. How do you think we get food and material? It has to be brought about by our good overlord, the Empire.
What does the Empire get in return?
I honestly don't know. I don't think anything, really. I thought it was just... To be fair, the way Sister Katyana explained it to me at first, there's this fund that the Senate organized or put together after the destruction of Dathomir. And the Empire sort of just went along with it when the Republic was imperialized by Palpatine. So we just get our stuff, our resources, our materials. What we need is just, instead of having it sent by a shuttle or a space transport, well, now it's this huge warship, which, if you were native to here, you'd find that a major insult, because, you know, these are the models of ships that destroyed Dathomir in the first place.
It seems very unnecessarily grand.
Unnecessarily grand seems to be the fashion for the Empire. Seems to be their motto or something.
Do you learn much of what happens outside in the core worlds from here, or
Oh god, no. That's one of the things I like about being on Dathomir. You don't care about politics, you don't care about anything that could happen out there. Last I knew, well, that was about 5 years ago. Nothing much, really. Same old, same old. There were a few worlds that I think wanted to secede from the Empire. I don't know how that been.
it didn't go well.
Oh.
I'm assuming I don't.
From your own lore and knowledge of Star Wars. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's pretty
Didn't
sure
go
that
well.
it didn't go well.
Yeah. That was my guess. But
I mean, the Republic wasn't fond of worlds leaving either.
no.
As you're talking to the old gentleman, I'll just go back to the Colosseum for a second. As the initiates now enter the arena, 4 of them, and they place themselves in like a square formation. Yorshkata, you recognize them. These were the figures that were waiting behind the door, like hidden in the shadows when Sister Kadiana came out. They're all dressed the same. So you've got one male Zabrak. You have a female Notolan, a female human, and a male Gamorrean in the ring. They're all equipped with an electrostaff, except for the female human. She doesn't seem to have any weapons. And Sister Kadiana welcomes everyone to this month's trial. Here are the newcomer, the new initiates, and of course, and like there's a few people cheering. The Gamorrean apparently had like a few victories. Sorry, last time. And apparently the way you guys sort of gather how it works, there seems to be multiple combat over the course of the day or over the course of the event, and then that tallies up like some sort of like point-based system, and then at the end only like the top 2 ones are allowed to move forward. So the Gamorrean is in the second place, and Fyra is in first. And the combats begin. The first few rounds are basically just like ritualized sparring. So like they're going through rote moves that they've learned. It looks a lot like martial arts here. What you would expect of like a martial arts competition, like not MMA, but like just like a judo or like jujitsu or whatever. They go through. Everybody has the same moves. They try to perform the same maneuvers on their opponents. They bow respectfully and everything. And the crowd just watches in like respectful, somewhat silence. There's applauding from time to time. People cheering.
Do I recognize the forms the same way Glider used?
Um,
And old I would know.
some of the moves actually are very similar. Not exactly the same, but knowing what you know and you're training as a Jedi, you're like, okay, these were definitely inspired by what's the name? I was gonna say Muay Thai. It had like a very specific name. The fighting style he used was I should really rewrite them in a way that I can search more easily. The Matai.
Okay.
Wow, I was close with Matai.
Yeah.
The Matai fighting style. It looks close to that. And then there comes the second part. Whoa. Hello, camera. Focus. Thank you. The second part of the trials, where it is full-on gladiatorial combat. 4 versus 4, like every person for themselves. Anything goes. And that's when the other initiates pick up their electrostaff. And Fyra just picks something up from her pockets and lets it fall on the ground. And it's this like ball of steel. And she takes a few steps back. And then, quote unquote, all hell breaks loose. The female Notolan jumps about 20 feet into the air with her electrostaff and she goes to strike the Gamorrean initiate, who just waves with a hand and throws her into the seats without touching her. Quickly, Dak and Yorsh and even Zeta, you can sort of realize what's happening here. They're all Force users. One of them, the Zabrak, tries to sneak up on Fyra and hit her behind the head with his staff. And without even moving, the sphere just goes up, spins around Fyra, and breaks the Zabrak's jaw by just spinning around in like one circle. Tau gets the jaw, and then the ball just falls back down, and she still hasn't moved. The Zabrak goes back up to try to fight. They move around a bit. The fight gradually switches from a free for all to all three of them against Fyra. Most of them are beaten up, but Fyra easily kicks the legs out of under the Gamorrean, takes his staff, and jabs it in his mouth, shocking him to almost the point of death. Using the same staff, which she breaks, she flings the two broken parts like javelins and controls them with the Force so that the two pieces fight off her other assailants while she makes the steel ball levitate and turns it on. You can see like sort of sparks flying around that ball, like coming out of the ball and just like dissipating in the air around it. And she throws the ball in their direction and just hits them both in the stomach, one after the other, and she hits them repeatedly with it until they can no longer stand and just fall unconscious in the dirt. And then the ball falls back down. She barely moved for the entire fight. Aside from the one moment where she went physical against one opponent, she's just calm, focused, and she does what she needs to do with a certain viciousness that is especially you remember the teachings of Nikiki, and often she would tell you, sometimes you don't need to attack as many times or as strong as you would. Sometimes, a certain degree of restraint is better because you don't expend as much energy and you don't let your emotions cloud your judgment and your reflexes.
Mm-hmm.
She seems to always go all out. The crowd cheers, some of them boos. People applaud. There's like a closing ceremony, a speech by Sister Katyana, and she and Fyra leave while other sisters come out, sisters and brothers. They come out of like the doors from where the fighters came out, and they pick up like the unconscious bodies of the other ones. And they bring them all back to the pyramid. This whole thing, the whole trials, took about 2 hours. Most of the crowd afterwards, they just either talk among themselves or some of them go back home. Bardic and Gleela, they just wave you goodbye. Unless you wanted to stop them for anything, they're going back to the apartment complex. Leaving you three to your own devices.
Well, that was something.
That's not my sister.
But that's her name, right?
That's not the same girl I knew.
You said she was sent off when she was young.
I know.
Well, and actually they groomed her into this ball of combat.
Yeah, the statues are bugging me a lot. Because, like, at least in places that I've been to before, whenever there's like some kind of statue or something to with people on it, it's usually to remember people by, or if it's a person of great power. And she didn't she say something that was like, what was it? She mentioned this to yours when we were walking. She said that they make statues of initiates, but why do that if they're still initiates? That doesn't, I don't know, something about that just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
You
I
think
mean-
they're being disposed of?
Well, no,
I-
but normally you'd make a statue of someone that you want to remember or that achieved a great feat or something.
But if they're initiates, they're not really at that point yet. So that's what's bugging me the most. Like
It
I'm not,
reminds me of honoring the dead.
yeah, I don't think she's doing exactly what she's saying, because like, holy crap.
This reminds me of a lot of, and I say, the individual we saw back on the beach. I get closer to them and I say this kind of a low tone.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of the term Sif?
It was brought up a couple times while working for Iwa, but I never really understood what it was.
It was, if the other side was the sun, then they would say that the Sif was the eclipse. The light and the dark, as much as you want to believe that.
Is that what I don't remember what his name was, but was that what that guy was at that last place that was trying to murder you?
That's what the order are called that he follows. But that's just a name. It's the intent of the person. Different practices, like this one, have a way of shaping your outlook. But it doesn't mean that's still not your sister. Don't write her off just because she's different. We've all had to do difficult things to survive.
I know. Let me just go. Let me talk to her. Let me figure out what she wants. Let her know that she might be in danger. Which, if she is, and she's not stupid, she'll go with us and leave this place, and then she won't be in danger anymore. Maybe she can do something. I don't know. Just
Seems like she's
not
fine.
that.
I wouldn't come at it as though she was in danger, because she seems content. This, if she's fully in it, this is her new home, her new reality.
Doesn't mean that the reality has to be a good thing.
No, maybe we should remind her of the different one she had, instead of trying to say that she's in danger. Because to her, this is completely safe and normal.
I could
More than likely, she's not gonna want to go away from here. You're gonna have to be ready to make her own, make her own decision and stay here.
Also, I got a 20 on that perception check.
Yeah. So, those of you who, well, Dak and Yorsh, you noticed that the doors that the sisters came in and out of through the Colosseum, there's a pad on the outside of the door. Once the door closes, the pad switches from unlock to lock. Like, the green light turns red. But there's a combination on it. There's a way, if you wanted to sneak in or follow them or whatever, that could be an easy way in.
Right now, there's a pad over there.
You're thinking about sneaking in, trying to see if we can follow them and catch
I'd
up with
like
her?
to, if possible. I want to. I don't know. Something doesn't seem right. Like I don't know. Like it. I don't know. There's something's bothering me, and this doesn't seem good.
Okay. Use computer, I suppose, to try and get a combination.
All right, before you go down, well, you guys make your way like down to the arena, but while you do that, let's go back a few minutes in the past and go see Fiona at the apartment complex. So that's what he was saying. The Star Destroyers bringing
Yeah.
everything.
How often does the Star Destroyer come?
Roughly every month or so.
When is it due?
Well, normally it almost matches the day of the trials. Either sometimes a day before, maybe a few days before or after. So I'd say within maybe it's either today or within the next 3 days, maybe.
If you'll excuse me, I just have to make a call.
Oh, sure, take your time.
She'll just like go into a like. She asks if she can like use his room or something. Just like not leave, but just like a
Oh yeah, like you can go in the bathroom and just
Yeah.
lock the door.
and I'll like ping Dak or somebody. Dak or Yorsh. So they get supplies via Star Destroyer. And it's due to arrive today or in the next few days.
We choose great times to travel to places, don't we?
You don't have a communicator. I can't talk to you.
I'm just saying, like, out of character, we have great timing.
It's almost like
The DM.
players in a.
The Force is guiding us.
The Force works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Also, Ebor wants off this planet. He thinks they kill the initiates who fail. I figured you guys would be okay with giving him a giving him a lift to Dantooine.
Does he have any credits?
A few, but he's an old man with no legs.
Are we even going now?
We don't have anywhere we're going right now.
Is Dathomir any?
It's the next largest planet. It's not far away.
Okay. I'll talk to Zeta. We'll see. Says I right in front of her.
I'm just staring at him like, oh no.
Can I talk to Zeta about it? I feel
Sure.
like it's important that she knows. So I explain everything that I just said about like the murders and the about the memorials and the Star Destroyer and also Ebor.
So to fit in the narrative, we'll say that this call takes place like as you guys are walking down to the arena.
I knew something was off about those stupid statues.
Did your sister win?
She won. I'm happy that she won, but I'm not happy for the others. Not anymore.
Can we take Ebor off to Dantooine?
As long as he doesn't, like, try to do anything.
He's an old man with no legs.
It never underestimate people. You would be surprised some of the things that people will do when they're missing limbs.
That's fair. He did.
I will talk to him about it when we are done here.
He seems like a good sort. Seems to be on our side.
When we're done at the Coliseum, I'll go and I'll talk to him. I'll give him a day for whatever hours or whatever. Can you please call Irula and tell them to move the ship?
Move it where?
Not close to here.
Okay.
We don't need, if that Star Destroyer is due today, we need it to go away because I don't want to lose our only means of leaving this planet.
Wouldn't it be better to have it closer in case we have to make a quick exit?
But if the Star Destroyer lands in that exact same spot and sees a ship here, they're gonna.
Star
Yeah.
Destroyers can't land.
Ah, okay.
They're very big.
They're too big. If they land on a planet, it's because they crashed.
Yeah.
So they normally
Just like
hover like in very high atmosphere. They
Okay.
can barely break atmosphere, but the thing is they're so big that you see them from the ground up.
No,
Yeah, they'll have like shuttles and stuff.
yeah. If
I'll tell him to hide the ship as best they can.
yeah, like, I don't think it's a good idea to have our ship out in the open, especially since this is the ruins, so it's gonna be open out. So, but I'll talk to him about it. I'll figure out if that is exactly where he wants to go, and I'll try and get like a feel for him myself, and we'll see.
Okay.
So tell him maybe.
Okay. What are you doing right now?
I want to figure out a little bit more about what's going on. It might be a little bit before we're done.
Do you want me to? Okay, don't do anything too dangerous.
Where's your sense of adventure?
Please don't leave me alone with Irula and Danny.
Okay, that's fair. Then she like hands the communicator back to Dak.
Thanks. So, okay, a new sense of urgency like we've never faced before.
What's new?
This is becoming the norm.
You had a question, Yorsh, about the top of the pyramid?
Yeah, I want to know what was in it.
Okay.
What was in the middle of the top?
Okay. I will ask him. Be
Yeah.
careful. And then she'll hang up and go out and say, so I talked to the captain. She said to tell you maybe, but that's only because she wants to make sure you're not shady.
All right. She can run a full background check on me if she wants. There's no problem. A few more minutes won't be the death of me here.
There's my is there something in the top of the pyramid?
The central chamber. The pyramid's mostly hollow in the middle, but there is a central chamber that we built. That was the first thing we had to build.
What is it for?
I am not supposed to talk about that with anyone outside of the sisters.
Please. The reason we're here, the captain, her sister is Fyra.
Oh. Roll a persuasion check.
With disadvantage.
Nah. I'm on that.
Oh no, that wasn't very good.
You want to use force points?
No.
Alright. He says, I don't know the exact specifics of this room, but I know they made us install some sort of newfangled long-range communicator with the Senate. I think it was part of the whole, in order to receive the goods and everything.
That would be maybe broadcasting a signal.
Oh yes, a very powerful signal straight to Coruscant. I think
Was
it's how the sisters communicate.
Was it just for that? Was it?
Well, I
was
mean,
there any kind of like ritualistic purpose.
oh, well, I wouldn't know about that if the sisters did anything to it after. What I could tell you is when we installed it, it's not a model I've seen before. It's powered by, and he makes like this move with his hand. He's like this, I don't know, it's like a tiny pyramid made of like black metal or something. I think it's a new type of power generator.
Have I heard of anything like that before? I'm guessing not, but
Not if you're not a Jedi.
cool. Okay, that's very interesting.
If you're in that sort of thing.
We've detected a strange signal.
I mean, who knows what they send out and they receive here. I would just like for them to share the signal with the rest of us so that my HoloNet would get a better reception.
I have to make one more phone call. I'm very sorry.
You go right ahead. Don't mind me.
I might have to infringe on your welcome a little longer. It seems that my friends have been caught up. And forgive me, but from what you've told me, I'm not sure I want to be wandering the streets alone.
Oh, the place is perfectly safe if you don't mind dust in your eyes.
Seems ghoulish
Uh,
walking among all those graves.
yes. There's a whole sense of finality to the place. Yeah. You get used to it though.
I see. And then Fiona will make the call to Aquila and ask them to move the ship out of sight.
Alright, they will. They'll try to hide it as best as they can. Just out of game, how far away in time do you want the ship to be?
Not too far, like.
I guess
don't
just
know.
like out of the spaceport, kind of like.
If there's some trees, hiding them trees. I mean, turtles and trees.
There's no living organism on this planet anymore.
Dead.
Really.
Damn it. You got some mountains that you can hide in, or some hills.
Oh, they
or
could go like a few hours out and hide the ship in like a crevasse or something somewhere. Or they
I would
could
say try to do it within an hour would probably be the smartest thing,
Yeah,
because it's not too far and it's not too much or too little.
they can find like a place among the ruins, amidst the ruins, to just hide the ship. Like, it's, if anybody were to fly over, they'd realize that there is a section of the ruins that look like a lot newer than the rest. But at least from people on the ground, it would probably just be like hidden.
They just be like, oh, those crazy weird people with their pyramid and their new settlement and building things that look like turtles.
Yeah, like to a point, it could almost look like a new type of complex or something.
Yeah.
So
Um.
that's what they're gonna do.
Okay. And then Fiona will also just like ping Yorsh and be like, some kind of weird. They said there's some kind of weird communicator with a black pyramid.
Hmm.
Long range communicator straight to Coruscant.
That makes sense.
Do you know what it is that's powering it? I've never heard of anything like that.
It's a device one uses to store teachings of previous generations within an order to pass on.
So that would be the thing you were sensing?
Most likely, yes. There's a lot of it'd be easier if you were here to discuss it. I don't like speaking over the comms with it, but yes, I know what it is.
Should I meet you somewhere?
We're possibly going to be going into the temple, so probably not by the time you get here if whoever got in or got caught. It's best you're on the outside,
Okay.
but it's up to you.
Just, send out an SOS if you have to.
We'll do.
The Colosseum's about 10 minutes away from the complex. Like if you're running or something, you could probably do it in 5. Yeah.
I mean, but it's true. Is it better to have somebody on the outside? What do you guys think?
I mean, the DM isn't gonna take position on the subject of splitting the
No.
party.
I mean,
Yeah.
it would be nice if you to let us know if like a shuttle comes down suddenly and we snuck in.
Okay. Yeah, I can keep an eye out.
But then you could also like tell
Help
Dania or Ruler to keep an eye out.
Yeah.
They meet you at the pyramid. Eventually.
Well, it's like a question of like, do you want me there to be a lookout and potentially bail you out if you get caught, or do you want me to be there to help fight?
I think the problem with that is, especially because they've literally just left through these doors, if you came to us now, it would be too late for us to even be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you could still get the door open regardless of how many time passed.
That's true.
I am also probably your best bet to get the door open.
Because it would be. Well, in this case, yeah, unless you have like tools for it, the best way would be through use computer.
Because if you did stay, could you tell us through like the hollow, the communicator?
No. I have to talk to the.
Right.
Yeah, she has to be physically connected, or like close enough that she can
Not a
connect to it.
droid.
The Matrix.
Well, that's the thing. Like, even if you were a droid, you would still need to be connected somewhere.
Yeah.
Which is the problem that you guys are having right now. Is we're not in old Shadowrun where you can just stay home and do everything remotely.
Well,
Yeah.
don't we have the lovable deck that also has use computer?
Yes, I do have that option.
And then if he fails, can't he just have Fiona on his communicator to be
Yeah,
like,
If-
hey, I can figure that out.
If
Can
he
you help
fails,
me?
if he fails by too much, it locks down, and if there's an alarm system or something, it will trigger the alarm.
Listen to that purr. Ooh.
Those sweet
Oh.
kitten purrs. No, I
Jesus.
love it. It's so
Yes.
calming.
Yes, he's rubbing on the microphone apparently.
Just come then. Sounds like
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
come.
If you want someone to meet you, then let us know.
Oh,
Otherwise,
I know
run
where you-
here. Be careful. Cover your mouth. It's dust getting everywhere.
Yeah.
Look both ways before we cross the street.
Don't
I-
talk to any strangers.
Done enough of that.
If you see any initiatives being killed, let us know when you get here so we can go kick some people's butts. I mean,
Sounds good.
the usual.
All right.
Yeah,
So we'll
so
fast
I'll-
forward a few
I'll
minutes.
take my leave and we'll go there.
All right.
Hello, kitten. Oh my goodness.
Yes, he's right there. Hello, Kitten. But
I love you, and I'll be in your face in a second. There
yeah,
you go.
that's it. That's it. However, as you guys are getting closer to, well, as Fiona catches up to you, you guys approach the door and get ready to open it. That's when we're gonna stop tonight's episode because it's past 11.
That's late.
Well, I'm gonna start welding the door shut so that I can run into it.
Nice.
That's a good idea.
I know.
No, but I'd rather we stop here because if we keep going, things might end up going a lot longer. So I'd rather we start
Yeah.
again anew in the next episode. So,
Mm.
I hope you guys had fun today.
Oh yes.
I'm sorry I'm still coughing and blowing my nose and everything. That's a lot less than last episode, though, I counted.
You counted. Okay.
Well, yeah, I rewatched the last episode today, and I'm like, okay, I'm not as bad. Though hearing myself cough, like, through the VOD, actually provoked coughing, so that was weird. It's like coughing by association.
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
Anyway, let's just go ahead and do the outros, and we'll do the opposite order from the intros. We'll begin with Josh.
Hey, yeah, super good game today. Nice, kind of like Sith. If it is like actual like a true Sith like training camp. So looking to see how my character kind of deals with that. And yeah, super good. I am Pro Restarter. You can catch me on Twitch and Twitter. I do lots of games throughout the week. And play with lots of people in the community. Do stuff on other content creators' channels, as you can see here. You can also catch me on my YouTube as well, which is my new YouTube, since my old one just got completely vanished. You know, woo. Catch me on my new YouTube, which is Pro Starter. Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
type it in chat?
It's just like PR. Oh yeah, I can do it actually. I can just like set a link in. But yeah, that's me. Super fun. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
No problem. Thank you for playing. Emily.
Yeah, hello. You'll find me on Twitter at handlebar here. You're turning my sister into a Sith, and I don't like you for that. Stop killing everything that I love.
I'm still alive. I'm still okay.
That's true. She does have a love for Dak, and no one will ever steal that away from her. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed myself, so I can't wait for next time, which we're gonna have to talk about timing for next time. So we can do that later.
All right. Lauren.
Hi, I'm Lauren. You can find me at JL_NiceGirl. I do lots of stuff on the internet. Mondays you can find me playing D&D 5e either on twitch.tv/off_the-table or Dear Television. On Tuesdays you can find me here every other Tuesday. And also we release a new episode of my podcast, Too Many RPGs, the same week as Star Wars. This week's episode, we speak to Little Cup of Joe, who many of us know and love, about Encounter Roleplay's Wander Quest, and it's a very good episode. Wednesdays, tomorrow, you can find me on Josh's channel, twitch.tv/ProRestarter, playing Masks. And you can find me on twitch.tv/Anarasis later that evening for the last time for the finale of Mouse Guard Garden of the Giants. We might have to fight some rats, and also it's like a war between rats and bees, and there's a dog somewhere, and I can fly. It's very strange. It's very good though.
Yeah.
And then and then every other Friday you can find me again on Off the Table as we wrap up Alas for the Awful Sea, which I am the GM of, so watch me try and kill my players with moose and sea monsters.
Yay.
The good old killer moose.
It's true. I started the session with like, there's a moose charging at you. Try not to
Nice.
die.
Oh, so very Canadian. And Alex.
Hi. And I'm catching your crud. Thanks. Alright, hi, I'm Alex. And I believe that I will not be present to your game tomorrow. This Wayhinder game.
Yeah.
I didn't mention that, did I?
Oh, yes, you did. And
Yes, I
Eric can't be there anyway, and I might have to postpone. I wanted to talk to you guys about that later today because it's the finale. Like, I would rather we do it. Like, I know Eric is not available for a bunch of weeks, so he said that we we can go ahead and finish it with just the three of us. Well, us three and Catherine. If need be, but we'll talk about that later.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at @thegambit. I will learn to spell one day. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my stream schedule is Star Wars. Hence Wayhinder that technically will hand at next game.
And we'll talk about that. And I am
Oh, Lord.
Wandering DM. I'm Simon. This is my channel. You guys have found me. Yay! There will be other stuff coming up on the channel. I feel like I'm repeating myself from like 2 weeks ago, but I haven't worked at all on the channel since because Gen Con and everything. So stay tuned. I'm gonna have the other shows, other announcements, stuff going on. So if you're interested, if you're watching this, you know where to find me. Otherwise, it's at Twitter at wandering_DM. I had tons of fun playing with you guys tonight. Oh, I'm starting to cough like crazy again. So, on that, I bid you all good night, and we'll see you for the next episode in 2 weeks. Ciao, everyone.